think it would be cool if the same guy who voiced Sephiroth could play Mephiles in a Sonic 16 or Sonic 06 remastered kind of thing. I didn't notice you there. Hello, it's me, Caleb Magnuson, and I'm here to talk about something very important. But first, let me mention I'm under the weather a bit, and I'm also autistic, so this might be a bit weird. I also didn't script it this time, since the last time it was not very good. So, the Sonic Storybook series should be rebooted in a way I think should be irrebootable. People probably didn't like it because, well, there was an enemy other than Eggman and stuff like that. It was on rails, there were cheap gimmicks and bad controls, a lot of things. I think that they should reboot it in a way that seems good. The new Sonic, he's not a big adventure guy like Jason Griffith. No, we need to use the characters who have been neglected for the past few years. Shadow and Silver. Those guys are awesome. Shadow, he has no real enemy. He did have Black Doom, but Black Doom's dead, so it's all fair game here. Silver, well, he technically is the enemy of Eggman Nega, but that's more Blaze's enemy. So he's also fair game too. I think they should reboot the Storybook series using the both of them. Here's what I'm thinking. Kind of like a Mega Man and Bass style of thing, except more playable, where you could play through the story as Shadow or Silver, and you don't have to play as both of them, and they both don't have their individual stories, really. They're both going to go through the same same kind of story. No, let me rephrase myself. They're both going to have the story. It's going to be either Shadow story or Silver story, not both at the same time. They will be different stories, and you don't have to play both of them to get to the final boss, just one of them. They won't even meet each other because it's either Shadow or Silver, remember that. So anyways, I'm going to talk about how Shadow/Silver and the Secret Rings could be. Shadow, since he's almost as fast as Sonic, could be about more high-speed platforming and combat like he does. He could come into the story by, like in the Sonic universe, he could be trying to teleport to the Special Zone, but accidentally come to the Arabian Nights. And end up getting in Sonic's situation, kind of, when he was inside the Secret Rings. That's a good idea. And as for Silver, or if you're playing as Silver could have been trying to go back in time and hit this kind of warp gate kind of thing or whatever. And since he's a nice guy, wants to help out the people who are being destroyed by Mr. Eraser Jin, and collect the 7 rings, and stuff like that. But now for playstyle. Well, Shadow, like I said, could be a more high-speed action kind of thing, and Silver would be more basic platforming and puzzles and all that. They would both have different bosses. They can't have the same bosses. And they would both have a final boss. It would basically be like playing 2 games about the same storyline with a different character, which is awesome. They would also have different stage designs, of course, and maybe even go to different places in the world and stuff like that. On rails? No. Maybe. I don't think so. Not a lot of people like that, Mr. Some Call Me Johnny. Anyways, let's talk about Sonic and the Black Knight, or Shadow/Silver and the Black Knight. Shadow, I don't know how he got there, probably the same way Sonic got there in Sonic and the Black Knight. But anyways, let's just talk about the playstyle for this reboot thing. Shadow could be basically like how he was in Sonic and the Black Knight, and they could substitute someone else for Lancelot, since, if you've played the game anyways. He could also have of all the stuff he had in his second boss that was really optional, Lancelot returns, because just sword swing is not going to get it. But now Silver. Silver is a psychic guy, which would lead for some nice gimmicks, I could say. A Silver could maybe detect the enemy attack before it happened, so you would be prepared to defend yourself. If he could also maybe throw his blade and bring it back to him, kind of like a Jedi or something like that. It's good stuff. I enjoyed the Sonic Storybook series, but it was short-lived, and they're probably not going to continue it since they fired Jason Griffith for really bad reasons. Just moving your studio is not a good reason at all. Well, it's a terrible reason, especially since the actors aren't as good as they were before. Or am I right? If you're gonna replace Jason Griffith, you gotta have a good reason. Not someone dying. He's just that good. But you need someone like Jason Griffith to die if you're gonna replace Jason Griffith and all the other actors and stuff like that. Now, anyways, I liked the Storybook series. It took some getting used to. The first time I played Sonic and the Secret Rings, it sucked. About a few years later, I tried it again. I found it actually quite enjoyable when I completed it. Now, back to business. This I don't really have much to say, do I? Oh yes, this No, I don't. Oh yeah, Shadow could have his chaos control ability. Like I said, this isn't scripted, so I'm trying to think this up off the top of my head, which is better than what I did last time. Now, this is a good idea, because the Sonic Storybook series was pretty good. It wasn't great, but it could be better. Or if we rebooted it. And Shadow and Silver, people haven't been able to get to know these new hedgehogs' voices, because every time they change a voice, their personality changes as well. And it's either for the good or the worst, or the best or the worst. And I'm looking at you, Knuckles. Your personality sucks. Shadow, however, I still think he's pretty cool. But I don't know this new Shadow well enough. All I know is that in the racing game, in Sonic Free Riders, he was slightly full of himself, like all of these characters are for some reason. Then, in Silver, how many lines has he had in all of the new 3D Sonic games? I believe in you, Sonic! Wow, that's it. Yeah, because Silver is not on anything other than handhelds, and he rarely shows up. How can you have a great character like Silver and not be nice to him? Seriously, he's a great character. He's on my top 4 Sonic characters. Anyways, now, that's basically it, I think. Next time, I'll be talking about something completely different. The Metroid series. And I hope to make a playlist for this, but I probably won't, because this is going to be different. So, thank you all for listening, and roll credits.